This thesis is a result of my personal experience in China. I spent there a year to improve my Chinese. During my stay, I had the opportunity to observe these people's habits and traditions, and to discover their ancient culture. Because of the deep differences between the Italian and Chinese culture, before leaving Italy I was very worried, and I was afraid that I could not fully integrate with the locals. Contrary to my concern, once arrived in China, not only did I find a hospitable and favorable environment, but people were really interested in me and to discover my culture too. With their help, I could understand a world completely different from the West. I learned to appreciate cultural differences and to give greater value to mine. China is one of those subjects on which it is very difficult to remain completely indifferent. In this context, we can find three categories of people: those who dwell on social and political aspects, and that express indignation toward a specific topic such as pollution, the communist regime, and the issue of Tibet. Those who see China as a threat to Italy and the West in general because of the low-cost labor, the unfair competition of Chinese companies in the international market, and so on. Those who see China as a great business opportunity for Italy and the West in general, due to its rapid economic development that has turned it into one of the strongest powers in the world. However, now that the route of Marco Polo counts more than the one of Christopher Columbus, it is important to consider the idea of China as a possible trading partner. China is the third largest country in the world by extension, with an area of 9.6 million square kilometers, and the most populated country in the world, with a population of more than 1.3 billion people. People's Bank of China is now the richest in the world. In 2008, its reserves amounted to more than $191 billion. However, China is still classified as a developing country, since its economic development only started 30 years ago. In less than 3 decades, the People's Republic of China has completely changed its rural economic system, and it turned into a prominent industrial system. December 11, 2001 is a very important date, because on that day China joined the World Trade Organization, and that day changed forever both the Chinese and the global economy. In only 5 years, China's GDP growth almost doubled. In 5 years, it surpassed Italy, France, and the United Kingdom. Thanks to its experience and extraordinary success, today the excellence of Made in Italy brand is a real social and economic heritage. Its quality, its design, and its reliability assure it the top positions in different areas of the international market. To do business in China or with China, a thorough understanding of cultural and political conditions is required, because it can result in barriers and obstacles to trade with the West. The first obstacle is the language. This difficulty arises from the fact that Chinese language, unlike Western languages, has no alphabet. The writing is made up of a set of strokes that form the characters, but its difficulty is accentuated by the difference between spoken and written Chinese, and all the regional dialects that are as many as all Romance languages in Europe. Besides the language, even the Chinese mentality and their rules of behavior in social relations could slow or impede the success of a commercial negotiation. Actually, the secret to win over Chinese people from the very first business negotiation is to know perfectly their social rules. You can persuade a Chinese person more with your sour fare than words of business and marketing. For example, at the first business meeting, it is good practice to greet people following the rite of Chinese business card, to shake hands and to exchange business card, handing it to another person with both your hands. Other aspects not to be underestimated are numerology and superstitions. Some numbers have great importance to Chinese people. The number 9, for example, is a sign of strength and longevity. Number 2 is a lucky charm, because it includes the two essential elements, yin and yang. The number 8 is a symbol of prosperity and good fortune. Many Chinese people could do everything to have it in their license plate of their car or in their phone number. This is due to the fact that in Chinese, the pronunciation of the number 8, ba, is similar to fa, abbreviation of fa cai, which means to make money. In Chengdu, the telephone number, only made up of 8, was sold for more than $270,000. And if 6 is a synonym for success, the number 4, which in Chinese is S, is a sign of bad omen, because it has the same pronunciation of the word death. And most of the people in China are so superstitious that in many hotels or other buildings you won't find the 4th floor or doors with that number. To gain access to the professional world in China, first we need to understand the concept of mianzi and guanxi, since they are the first step towards the beginning of any business relationship. Actually, for Chinese people, the protection of their face is very important, because this results in power and respect. Having a good face means having a good reputation and respectability in the eyes of others. The term guanxi instead refers to a relationship between two people that allows each one of them to obtain a favor or a service. The guanxi is based on mutual trust and on the quid pro quo, the exchange of favors. Just think about that the most common form to accept an excuse in Mandarin Chinese is mei guanxi, which literally means this does not pose any implication in the guanxi. Some companies might not have success without a dense network of guanxi. In my thesis, I followed the usual procedure of an Italian company interested in investing abroad. I analyzed the advantages and difficulties that ensue from this choice, the phases of the process of internationalization of the company, the market entry strategies, and the distribution channels, the method of promotion, and some new market trends. But besides exploring the theme of economic relations between Italy and China, the aim of my thesis is to dispel the prejudice that often Italians have towards Chinese people when considering them machines designed to work. China's culture, as we have seen, is essential in everyday life as well in the world of work, and its importance can even influence business negotiations. I think that this is a good opportunity to spread this message, and also a way to repay Chinese people in China for everything they have done for me.